All right, y'all. One Piece episode 1101 breakdown. A lot of you guys enjoyed the last one, so I was like, let's do it again. Also, for my patrons, you guys let me know if you would enjoy, I guess, this format, even for reacting to content. Is this something that you prefer? Because I know it's a wider shot, but you know, guys can let me know with that. Never miss with the opening, but let's get to it. So I always like when the chapters start off like this or the episodes, because it's no music. It's just getting right to it. It kind of sets the tone, which I really enjoy. So here we go. Just gets right to it. It sets the tone. What I absolutely liked here is that removed all color and you left the red. I presume the whole point of this is to accentuate the blood on Sentomaru, where some people pointed out censorship last episode, but it's just this episode explains what happened. That's why he doesn't look like Sentomaru has a gaping hole within his stomach, right? So because there's no color, it's just red, you can have a shot like this, right? So again, what I love about Toei and what they've been doing lately is they've been having a great time and being really creative with just the episodes. And so I thought this was a great opening shot. And then even a scream, right? Even combining the scream with it, I think is just great for the tone you're trying to set. Like Sentomaru just got impaled. Sentomaru is dead, you know, with justice on his back. And it's not ironic, but it's just with Sentomaru somewhat betraying justice, but is he doing something wrong? I wouldn't say so, because he's saving the man that saved him, but it's like he stood for justice very vehemently. So very interesting start to the episode that I thought they knocked out the park. Not as important to a lot of people, but I just really appreciated that. And it's really, and again, I think they have to go through such lengths, and I'm just putting myself in the perspective of if I'm trying to direct an episode, I have no experience with this shit. I'm just making up shit on the fly. But if you're trying to do something like this, you're battling against Gear 5 and the sound effects of Gear 5. This is a very serious moment, and you have Gear 5 every time he moves. It's a cartoon-like sound, almost like you're making fun of the moment. And so you have to really set this tone so that the contrast of it with Gear 5 doesn't completely undermine what you're trying to go for. So that's how I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm looking at it a bit too deeply, but I don't think I am. Right? So all these moments, Luffy's eye popping out, you have to really set it up so that this doesn't feel like, yo, what are we doing here? This was interesting with Luffy's eyes, because it was like Sharingan? What was going on? It was just really interesting how they decided to keep his eyes looking this way. Not the focus of the shot, but I just thought that the fact that they left it like that was interesting. So this was really great what they did by showing Sentomaru realizing it. That's why, again, the gaping hole isn't there. And Sentomaru has claimed to have the best defense in the world. So he threw his axe. He saw Rob Lucci looking like a demon going at him, right? So he saw him coming. Rob Lucci sees that he's using Rio. Sentomaru then, I would have liked to see his eyes glow red here, just to show that he's trying to use observation haki. It's never been confirmed that Sentomaru has observation haki, but if you're using Rio, I'm just gonna assume you do. It's not a correlation, it's just an assumption here. I don't know, but it would have been cool to see the red looking around trying to find him. But I thought this was a dope shot, man. Just having him throw the axe in the air, then using the axe as like a reflection to set up Rob Lucci's attack, and Rob Lucci also using that. So I'm looking at it from Rob Lucci's perspective, using the axe and the reflection of it, and then the animator, the director, also setting that up. Just a great shot for the audience. It was a bit quick, but you caught most of it, right? Where Sentomaru essentially went back to where he was, but then still wasn't enough to overcome Rob. And then having the axe next to it with the blood just splattering. I'm trying to think if it would have been a better shot if you removed the color again, but then it'd been overdone. I get it. A great shot nonetheless, just the blood. But Rob is just being an absolute menace here. I absolutely love how his tail was used to kind of just almost reveal him again. Again, they understand the character that Rob Lucci is. Every moment they get, they're going to show that world government scar kind of bolded into his back. So just Rob honestly on his motto vibe, right? He's just like, yo, I'm sexy, and I'm gonna let you guys know how sexy I am every chance I get. You see these back muscles? Telling somebody to pass out already is crazy. What do you mean pass out already? And now Luffy's pissed, right? Luffy's pissed because somebody again around him got hurt. The scar has an interesting shape. So Luffy, again, his power is so wacky and out of this world. Because he's starting up to run, he's literally making the ground rev up behind him, right? It's just fighting somebody like Luffy, you would think that you just took some shrooms and you're tripping. I like how they did this to reveal Luffy didn't have it, just kind of rub Rob Lucci off the screen. Thought it was a nice touch. I liked how they did that too. They made sure to show Sentomaru in the shot. Like, yeah, I'm zooming past him. Sometimes that's not a detail that you see in anime. Like, you don't ever see like the other character in the shot. They just blitz him. So I thought that was cool that they included that. Like, again, these are minor things, but they add to the overall essence of why this episode was so good. And the thing is, Rob saw this coming, right? And it's almost like if he played coy the entire way, and then he saw it like, okay, once Luffy committed, he's like, I got him, right? He's like, I got him. And an absolute body blow, which, you know, take it for what it's worth, Rob managed to land a hit. And the only thing Luffy did was wince, right? It was like a small wince, like, okay, you got me. And again, it's for Rob Lucci, he's like, what am I hitting? What am I feeling right now? Right? It's just, what? Because you hit him and his body extended so much. It's just like, it wouldn't be crazy if Luffy, based on how his body is built at this point, does that and lessens the impact drastically. So Rob Lucci can tell something's weird by how, but that base for us, this is the first clean hit, you can say? Like the first clean hit. They've been fighting for so long. This is the first clean hit. I don't know for so long, but they've been fighting the first clean hit. Luffy is an absolute monster. We have S-Bear still completely going crazy. I get look at Kaku. Kaku's like, yo, what are you doing, man? I said to stop. But Sentomaru is still conscious, so that's why they continue to attack, as Rob Lucci explains. S-Hawk sequence. I enjoyed this moment because it looked like Rob went back, and you know what it reminds me of is like him seeing Luffy do things. And he's like, I want to do it too. So he goes back. He not only cracks the ground. Of course, he's not going to have the same animation and effect that Luffy does. But this moment here, I'm a stan. So this reminded me, it's not the exact same, but it reminded me of Hunter x Hunter when Pito was about to go after Kite, and Pito's thighs just completely exploded, right? They just ballooned, expanded, where you can see the veins popping out. You didn't see the veins here, but this is what this reminds me of. And Rob Lucci goes back to give himself some momentum, which is kind of like, you didn't have to do that. You could have it's somebody that's already on the ground, but this is performative for Rob, right? And Luffy just did his thing. He's like, I'm going to show you what I can do too. That just honestly bought Luffy time. And here's Luffy just flying in the wind, letting it take him. And again, I don't know how you fight something like this. So with Whip, I saw somebody say, yo, why is this a devastating attack? I don't understand it. And my assumption when I first saw it was that Luffy he used the momentum from him initially spinning, and then that momentum carried into his leg when he whipped it back around. So it's almost like with Whip, I send it flying and then I spin. And then after I'm done spinning, all the momentum from my spin goes into the whip because I'm pulling it back with the same, I guess, a centrifugal force. I don't know. That's how I'm interpreting it. So it's like the momentum that I established from not only it going that way, but also what I established this way, you're kind of getting clapped with momentum coming from both sides now. So you get hit with it going that way, right? Because that's the initial extension, which is insane. So then I spin. So then my insane momentum the other way brings it back. It kind of snaps it back. It's going that way. I spin, going the other way. Now I spin and this snaps back the other way. So now you feel just the momentum from both, I would guess, culminate and meet at Rob Lucci. So I thought it was a really clever way to animate it. I can understand why a lot of people are like, wait, what happened? But he just got hit with momentum from both sides. That's how I interpreted this. So people are like, what happened? I saw a few people saying that. So that's why he started spinning as well. Just because the momentum, the whip, it completely just like, again, the momentum from Luffy for the most part carried to Rob Lucci. That's why he started spinning. It was a devastating attack, like a really devastating attack. It feels insane considering Luffy, and this goes back, this is how Luffy excels as a battle genius for me, because it's not really about the X's and O's. It's just about, Luffy couldn't explain what he did. All he can say is like, I did this, I spun, I felt like that would work. But as far as the logistics and the specifics of why it would work, he can't explain it to you. But that's why in battle, he's a phenom. Not X's and O's, but just his battle sense is spectacular. Now they're like, Luffy, let's go. But he's, the momentum from that attack, he's still dizzy from it. I think with Gear 5 like this, what I take away from it is that he's so free that he's just going with the flow. And also, this is a way for the animators to buy some time they do some cool things. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that a lot of animators, a lot of people that are animating Gear 5, actually I'm not going out on a limb, this is confirmed. A lot of people that are animating Gear 5, they really enjoy animating Gear 5 because you can do anything, right? You can do anything and it's not like, oh my God, that's too, no, have fun, go crazy. So it's a way to get rid of Luffy for a little bit, I get it. So you can focus on other things. Yeah, the Seraphim is still going crazy. This is a beautiful moment here by S-Hawk. So just an insane blitz, right? Look at it. Look, we stopped it at the perfect spot where it looks like an after image. Imagine seeing this when you wake up in the morning. And he is, if this wasn't One Piece, his head is gone, right? And just look at this. Look at this. Like while their momentum is still taking them up in the air, this is just insane speed and follow up. And here's the thing. He could have cut him. It looked like he changed his mind in the middle of it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna show off right here. Because he can do anything against that. He said, you know what? Down B. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They don't stand a chance against this guy. And I like that transition. That transition was actually spectacular. I liked it in a moment as well. But the transition from that to S-Shark, which is S-Shark just using the moisture in the air. But this is interesting though, because Senor Pink didn't even do this though. Like I'm not gonna say this is an awakening, but the fact that he can, and it's green because he's manipulating his devil fruit power, which is basically brought on by green blood. They explained it this episode. I don't think they explained it before then, did they? Either way. And so it is green there, and he's basically somewhat using it like an awakening. Almost like Katakuri, how Katakuri can manipulate the ground and turn it into mochi. He's turning the ground, somewhat moisturizing the ground, right? And I think it's beautiful use of the ability. And this is a statement right here that I think, of course, a lot of people are going to overlook, but she's saying, Stussy, they're still children. I'm afraid to imagine what they'll be like when they grow up. That's the insane part about this. They are still kids. So for Frankie, people, this is pretty straightforward, but Frankie, he knows about devil fruit powers. There should only be one devil fruit existing. So Jinbei's, X-Shark is using the swim fruit power. How is this possible? Is Senor Pink dead? But no, he's just locked up. I thought this is the perfect use of Frankie here to ask that question just because it's valid. It is valid. The fact that Frankie can build bonds this easily just shows you the type of person that he is, you know? A genuine soul. So you can make artificial zoan fruits like the smile, which the effects of that. Vegapunk was able to make a flawed zoan fruit in Kaido's fruit, which the only flaw is that it is pink. Something I didn't think about was, and I think it tells us something with Momonosuke, because he mentions in this episode, the only thing I worry about are them awakening, right? Caesar is despicable, like, you can't dispute that. So this statement here is interesting because he's saying more than likely all fruits can be replicated, time and money, but I'm not sure if they'll awaken, which I struggle with it considering how awakening hasn't necessarily been the focus of post-time skip, and every top tier seemingly is not guaranteed an awakening or an obvious awakening, which is a weird thing. But now I think about Momonosuke, like for that fruit that he created, I'm gonna try to put zones in their own category. So because those are the easiest ones to replicate, more than likely they'll awaken. But when we talk about Kaido's devil fruit, some people speculate that Kaido's fruit, it awakened and he turned into a dragon, but initially he was a fish. But for Momonosuke's fruit, when he ate it, he wasn't a fish. So when he used Kaido's lineage factor, are we assuming that the awakening already occurred? So this is just a throwaway statement in a vacuum, but if you add context, I think it's so many ways we could take it, you know? So for the Logia types, I guess the furthest you could go is like with Kizaru, that's light, so he creates the lasers. I saw the T, so Paramethea. I don't know why I spelled like that, because it's a Paramecia. But are they going for the myth? Paramethea? That's interesting. I don't know. But Paramecia, so by using the lineage factor, which is a bloodline element of a user, he can create a blood infusion by administering it. So he's basically copying the blood of a Paramecia user, which you would assume you could do the same with Logias because, I mean, their blood is altered as well. I'm not sure if Oda's saving the Logia awakening for something else and for it to mean something else, but the blood infusion, which makes it interesting, where as long as somebody eats a Paramecia, we can make a Seraphim that can use that Paramecia power as long as we get your blood. So I'm not going to spoil this because this is manga stuff, but I'm just thinking of all the Paramecias that the government have access to. There's one major one that they should be able to replicate, or they should have, but then you wonder about again, he wonders about the awakening, and I'm wondering, okay, I'm just gonna say Law. Law is devil fruit. First of all, how did he get the blood of someone like Jinbei? Like, how do we do that? Like, is it a blood contract when you become a warlord? I don't know. But with Law, the ageless surgery, is that part of his awakening? Because if you mimic that, can you then use an ability like that? Can you use a soul swap? I mean, you have S Bear being able to use Kuma's travel, so you're gonna assume it can't. You're gonna assume it can't. That's the only thing I don't like with the design, just because I can see them being beaten by someone aiming at that canister. So it's just, I wish it wasn't shown, but I understand that they're showing it so that they can talk about it. Vegapunk is insane, actually. So now you have S Snake, who can use Boa Hancock's ability. The transitions have been fantastic this episode. I really like Kuma's voice actor. And Ursa Shock is one of the more devastating attacks in the story. And again, these are kids, by the way. These are children. Love this eye catcher a lot. Nami thick, strongest ever. Some people are gonna use this as a slight to Mihawk, but this is not what this is. Yeah, it's a lot going on there. My anime only friend asked me today, like, what are the Seraphim? I basically said, I'll tell you guys later. Sentomaru is one of the cooler characters in the story, and because of what he stands for in regards to justice, it's just that he hasn't been fleshed out. And so nobody really cares for him. Rob, I think they did a great job of demonstrating why Rob Lucci was a menace, even in Enies Lobby, because he is relentless. Sentomaru cannot move. But what I'd like though is Rob's confidence, even considering how much he just got his ass beat for the past episode and a half. And he's still pretty confident walking around asking for Luffy. Hold on, something I gotta look at really quickly. Is that a devil fruit swirl on his beard? I don't know if this is intentional, but just having like the, the Sanji swirl, just everywhere, which he's not wrong about that. Okay, beautiful shot here. Okay, you can just feel just how menacing he is. You can just feel it. Shout out to Vincent Chanzard for the impact frames. And he's like an out of control cat, like look at the frames, man. Look at the frames, guys. Wait, hold on. What is this? They're just having fun now. Look at this. What the heck? He's moving so fast. Whoa, he's moving so fast. He's running away from his after image. Or his frame, or I guess some people would call this, say this is a Sakuga. This is beautiful though. This is beautiful to see just the detail that's being put into these shots. And I didn't even realize he said Soru. Just the perspectives are insane. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh. Like what I like about it, just like how I do it here, it makes it feel like a camera. Like the camera is turning with the perspective, which in an anime, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, man. Sentomaru's still trying his best. Whoa, hold on. I'm assuming, so this is Luffy. Look at the shadow. Oh, wow. Look at the shadow. It's Luffy swimming through the ground. Look at it. He's swimming through the ground. And that's when he rises. He's insane. Luffy is insane. Luffy shocks him. Luffy's affecting the platform. Ooh, that looked like Conqueror's Haki just now. Which in the anime, I'm never going to assume something's Conqueror's Haki just because, that's what they say not to do. They'll make it explicitly clear when it is, but hey, where's the fun in that? Rob is fast, man. Rob is fast, bro. These shots are the ones that you slow down, man. These are the ones. These are the ones that you want to see. What I like is like Luffy's not losing track of it. He's not losing track at all. He sees him every single step of the way. Rob Lucci using Geppo, Soru. It's just that he commits. When he commits, Luffy sees that coming, Just so well animated. Like, look at this. Like, just even using the rubble to hide the camera a little bit, Like, it's just a lot of detail. So much detail. And Rob using the environment to his advantage, because that's the best thing you can do right now. You can't overpower him, so you're going to try to outspeed him, especially in this form. And then they're using the environment and the beauty of the environment for the shots as well. This is phenomenal, man. And I like how Rob is just casually using different forms. Like back in Enies Lobby, he was like, it's obvious when he switched forms. Now he's just casually going in and out for the situation. At this point, Luffy could have got him. Luffy had him right here. Like right here, he was damn near dead to rights. But Luffy didn't want him this way. He said, no, I'm gonna spare you this time. That's why they slowed it down. He's like, I got an idea. Light bulb. Absolutely love how this turned white as soon as he touched it, which reminds me of Doflamingo when he touched the ground in Dressrosa and it turned into all white. And he's like, what happened? Well, he just made it really bouncy. And the name of the game is momentum, just like last week. So this one, it looked like he, like, look at the devil fruit markings. It looked like he just pulled it out of the air, right? Just pulled it out of his hair, damn. Out of the air or out of his hair, one or the other. Made some goggles, right? Which is Luffy's imagination going crazy. And this is why he's unstoppable. And the only thing that can stop Luffy is Luffy. Of course, other characters can make it more difficult for him, but also heard the animator that did this moment was an animator that made his debut on One Piece. So for that dude that did this, just a beautiful shot. And I think Toei made this better than the manga just because of these moments right here. These flashbacks, these callbacks on both ends where Rob Lucci, this PTSD, he's like, I've seen this story before. And so you'd have liked him to move or try to move, but you just took it. Some people are using this saying, is this Rio? Is this Luffy using? I don't know. You could take it as that, but I think he's just trying to make it look cooler. But all his dawn attacks are pretty devastating. How powerful is he? Yo, he's asking the question, yo, how strong is this guy? Because I know Rob Lucci, again, one hit. He's only landed one hit in the anime. One clean hit. And so he's like, I'm about to pass out. And I went back and watched Luffy versus Cracker. And the funniest thing is that I saw like Cracker went through everything in Whole Cake Island, bro. Everything. There's not much you can do with that, Rob. There's not much you can do with that. This is also showing the Seraphim speed that they're like struggling to keep up with her. And she's like, yo, what's taking so long? And I can understand like if you're just watching the anime, like, okay, what are the Seraphim really? Because then I like the pacifista with no personality, like S Snake is speaking and she's blushing and she's sweating. It's like, is she alive? But then you got to look at it. They're kids, right? They're calling them kids. If they weren't machines, you're not going to call them kids. They're living, breathing organisms that can grow. So this is the thing that makes them devastating. This was a cool moment. Again, I can understand for the anime, the animators, the director, like, just cool. Luffy uses ear. Like, we're trying to buy time. And so please refrain from rushing. And what Luffy proceeds to do, rush. Because he's monkey D. Trusting a pirate, that's insane. Insane growth. I didn't notice this. It's like he's using his hands to walk. Like almost like walk on air. Like he starts using them as like, I was like, what was he doing? Look at that. Luffy's so silly, bro. That's a cool touch by the animators, right? Because look at it, they speed up. That rubber power is so versatile. He understands the use of momentum really well in Gear 5, which is something that isn't talked about a lot, but I think is so important. It's really cool. Gotta get Atlas fixed up, man. Look at Chopper like a little kid strapping in for like a nice train ride. Shh. I know their stomach was in their ass. And this is the effects of Gear 5. If you look at his hair, if you pay attention carefully, like the color is changing a little. Like it's going back and forth between brown, black, and white, red a little bit. Still the main complaint in regards to Gear 5, stamina issues. That was quick. That was fast. That was just Sentomaru and that guy, who was still up too. And the anime, how the anime does this, okay, because they said it took, 32 seconds to get back to the Labo phase. For Rob Lucci, they make it seem like this was instant, right? And so for a lot of people, they're looking at Rob Lucci and now they have him supplanting right-hand commanders, which I understand. If you use the anime, for the most part, the manga as well, he is firmly entrenched. And people are giving Rob Lucci conquers hockey because of this moment, because he was just looking at Sentomaru and his eyes rolled to the back of his head. But I think for the most part, Sentomaru was just tired. He held on for as long as he could. Vegapunk escaped, so he's okay. He fought as long and as hard as he could. The most disrespectful part of this episode is coming, I think. He's looking great. But this guy, Kaku, backflipping and landing on Sentomaru like a trampoline. Like, this is crazy. What are we doing, bro? I like it though. What are we doing though? Great episode. Great episode. I think you could argue it's better than last week's, considering just how much was in there. I think last week just had more oomph moments, but I think this is, equal. I think they're equals in regards to enjoyment. Man, so much to look forward to. Guys, give me your thoughts. Again, I know you guys have been enjoying these videos, so I'm gonna keep making them. And so more to come, but let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next breakdown.